But we have Mr. Prince Linux on the show. I'm sorry I messed up your name. Welcome to the show,
No,
brother.
it's all good. It's my stage name. It's all good.
Hey man, no problem. So what's your take, man? Which one of these?
I didn't even read the prompt. I came in here because I heard the last minute of the conversation. So
Yeah. So do you believe Jesus is God? Is he not God? Or do you believe that he's the Father? Which one?
I believe everybody's got it.
Okay, you believe everybody's God. Okay, that's very good. What is your position? What is your evidence on that?
My evidence.
Yeah.
Uh, we're all creators like God. I mean, I don't really have too much to. I'm not trying to prove that because I mean that's just going to spark another conversation. But I
No,
mean,
you're good. You're fine. No, I'm all
we're
about
we're all we're all
conversation.
spirit. We're all spirits. So I
Very
mean,
good. I like that. I like that first thing you said. You said that the reason why we're all God is because we're all creators, right? So let me ask you this. You believe God created the world, obviously, right?
everything.
He created everything. Okay. Let me ask you this. How did he create the world?
Uh, I mean, you'd have to bring that up with him. I don't really care to. That's not really my, expertise of studies. He created it. That's all I need
Yeah,
to
I
know.
got you. Well, here, let me help you. Okay. If you know if I help you a little bit, kind of help give you a little something to get your feet wet. All right. So when we look at science, okay, I'm not even using the Bible in this particular conversation. I'm going to use science for this discussion. Okay. Science says that the universe had a beginning, right? The universe is unaliving. The power, the radiation, it's dying. It's unaliving, which lets us know that the universe had a starting point. Okay. The only way for the universe to come into fruition is for something outside of the universe to make the universe. Wouldn't you agree?
For the proposal to travel out here to Alaska. It only makes sense that when that
Prince,
here.
you there?
My fault. I had to open the door for my bro real
No,
quick.
no, you're good. You're good. Did you hear that last part I said?
I missed the last part. I
No,
heard
you're good. You're
everything
good. You're
else.
good. That's totally fine. It's totally fine. So the world that we live in, the universe that we have, is unaliving because it had a starting point, which means the universe is not eternal. Many secular scientists have made it clear that the universe is not eternal. It had a beginning, which means the universe had a creator, right? And you and I just dealt with that. We agree that there a creator, someone made the universe, and we understand that it was God who made that universe, right? So if we know that God is the one who made the universe and who made the world, can God be step inside of the world to make the world?
I mean, I think that's what we're here for. I'm pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We, that,
and
that's
talk,
that's why we're here in the
as
flesh.
far as creation, as far as creation is concerned, because mind you, we weren't here when the universe began, right? But God
No,
was,
we
right?
were. We just weren't. We just weren't in flesh. We were here.
Okay. Okay. So you believe we're eternal. Okay, I get that part. I understand now. So if we were, so do you believe we were there with God in the beginning?
No,
Okay, we weren't there with God. Okay, so we're not eternal then. Okay, that's very important
no,
to
we are
confirm.
eternal, but we had to be created in order to be eternal.
Okay,
Just because we weren't at the beginning of the time, I mean, we're at the end of the day, we're still spirits. So, and
okay.
you
No, that's
can't kill
fine.
a spirit.
Right, no, I get you. So let me ask you this. From the basic definition of God, just think about this for a second. Can God be created?
Probably. I mean,
Okay, okay.
probably.
Okay, so let me help you out. If God can be created, Prince, then God can't be God.
I mean, that's true too.
So, but again, God can't be created and be uncreated at the same time. One of those things is not true. In order for God to be eternal, all powerful, uh, whatever the case may be, whatever makes God a
But
God,
I mean, if God was created, then that means something created him, and that means again, that's just the main source. So that
well,
would be
that would
that
so
would
that would so I love that. That goes into the whole thing about if God created the universe, who created God, right? Well, even when we look at the basic definition of God, not even using the Bible, not even using the Quran, not even using any religious text, the basic definition of God is some being, divine being, who is all powerful. Okay? Therefore, the question of if God created the universe, who created God, is denying the basic definition of God at its simplest form. In simplest form, in order for God to be God, God can't be created. If you're making the case that God could have been created, then God no longer is God in any
I
sense.
mean, but I'm saying if the creator was created, then in the end, whatever created the creator is the creator or
Right.
God. So therefore, it just like I said, like that's something that man can't explain, right? You would have to wait. You would have to go into you would have to either have a deep source of meditation to ask those questions, or wait until the afterlife to ask those questions, because you can't answer those questions in flesh. It's not going to be answered,
Well,
because
actually,
God doesn't exist in
exactly.
flesh. God exists everywhere. So you can't ask a everlasting question in a lasting experience, because this doesn't last forever, right? Like, you have to ask spiritual questions. You have to ask those deeper meaning questions, with somebody who actually can answer it, rather than trying to, you know this and that and this and that, and then we have to go somewhere else and then try to figure this out. Like, we can't answer that. We don't know if God was created. We don't know if God is the creator. All we know is that there is a source, and that source is the creation of everything.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. I'm actually am answering it for you. And we just know just from basic just knowledge of what we have, even if our knowledge is finite, we know that in order for the creator of this universe to create the universe that we're in, God can't be created. The creator of this universe can't have a creator of his own, right?
I don't disagree.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you don't disagree. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. If God is eternal, if God is all powerful, then he can't be a created being. That means, again, for something to be created, that means there is something that has to be a start. God doesn't have a start. He always has been, right? So this is why when we have these conversations about the universe and God and what have you, we have to let reason and logic make the most sense in the situation. Not saying you're illogical, but I'm talking about just in general. So now that we kind of set this premise of God, who made the universe that you and I walk on and live in, is uncreated. He's the
This isn't the universe. This is
well, I'm talking about the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking in general.
All right,
So God, in this case, is the uncreated creator of all things created. Right? He did not have a beginning. He doesn't have an end. He's always has been. That's what makes him eternal. Right? That's very different now to when we step into time, space, and matter, which is what our universe is made in, and then you have you and me. Now, granted, let me ask you this: Are you a Christian believer?
I study more. I study more science.
More science. Okay. So let's put it this way. I like that. Did you have a beginning?
I did.
You did. Okay. So by
In the flesh and in the spirit.
right. So that's fine. So by that basic one element of you and I having beginnings, we can't be gods. We can't.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Okay.
can.
So then let's go back. So you said earlier that one of the ways that we're gods is because we're creators, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And remember when I asked you, how did the uncreated creator or how did God create the universe, right? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So check this out. Science says there are three things that was needed to make this universe: time, space, and matter, right? when it comes to God, did God have to go find some material and then put it together?
No.
No, he didn't. So that means God created something out of nothing, right? He didn't have to go find a cosmos, tear the cosmos apart, and then put that part of the cosmos into this sort of outer space. No, he literally created the universe out of nothing, right? Now, come into our world with you and I. The thing about it is, Prince, we're not creators, we're inventors. Okay? Now,
we're creative.
No, okay, we can be creative, but that does not make us creators.
I mean, inventing is the same as creating, though.
No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you why, respectfully. I'm going to tell you why. If we're talking about the aspect of God, God made something out of nothing.
So do you invent a life or do you create a life?
Hold on. Let me finish. And even with you asking me that, answers this question. You create something out of something. So I'll give you a great example. When you just asked me, don't you create a life? Do you invent a life or you create a life? I have to start somewhere in my life in order to get to another place in my life. What do I mean? I can start off by getting a job at a small little cashier by Kroger off of West 85th, right? That's something. But then that could transform and turn into me owning a corporate or owning the business of Kroger and owning 50,000 stores nationwide. That's another something. That is something that I invested in. And that's my life. But that's fine. But I did not make that out of nothing. I had to do something to get to someplace else. I had to do something.
You created a life out of nothing.
No, I didn't create a life out of nothing. I made a life out of something. Kroger was already there. The cash register was already there. All I did was walk into that position. That's something. Because I worked hard.
But what did you have before the position?
Say it again.
What did you have before the position? What did you have before the job?
So again, people had school. People had maybe another job.
No, but I'm talking about this instance that you were talking about. In this instance that you was talking about, before you had the job, before you got the position, before you started working there, what did you have? Because you didn't have that.
Hold on. Again, I would have my mom because I was living at my parents' house, not doing anything. I was probably in school, probably finishing my degree. And again, this question that you're asking can be applied in different ways. Because again, before a person gets to that cashier, they may be at home being a bum. They may be finishing up college. They may be finishing up high school. They may be working another field to come into the other field. You see how right, they could be doing anything. Right?
But let's just say somebody's being a bum. That in that aspect, they're coming from nothing.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Sure, they're coming from nothing. Sure, they're coming from nothing. Let me add to that.
And then creating. Go ahead.
They're coming from nothing in a sense. They're not being productive. That's what I will say. It's not so. That's very different than when we look at the creation account and we see that God literally made the universe out of nothing. He did not need anything.
But he doesn't need anything.
Exactly. And that's the point. God doesn't.
But it's still creating, though. It's still creating, though. Whether you have something or if you don't, it's still creating.
Hold on. But I like what you said. God didn't need anything. We do. In order to get the life that you and I, right. So again, in order for us to get the life that you may want, we can't just sit there and go, poof, right? We can't do that.
You kind of can't. You kind of can.
Okay, how? You tell me. I need the secret. You tell me. How do you make something out of nothing?
Bro, your imagination. That's the form of creation in all of life.
So if I imagine myself right now in a 5-floor mansion with 3 Lamborghinis, 5 car door garages, and a swimming pool in my backyard, I can have that right now.
I mean, it depends on bro. It depends on the individual, bro. If you believe that
I'm asking you, can I have that right now?
Let me put it like this.
Okay,
It is possible, yes, but I'm not going to say it's possible for you if you don't believe it. It's on the individual if that individual believes it.
Hold on, Prince. The problem is you didn't say belief. You said because we're gods and we can create something out of hold on. But because you said we are gods and we can create something out of nothing, then we all should have that power. So hold on. Give me a minute. Hold on. Almost there. Almost there. Nope. Still where I'm at. Couldn't do it, man.
You didn't. Well, no. You're saying you couldn't do it, but that doesn't prove it can't be done. That means you
show me
that you.
Hold on. So how about this? Show me one person that. Show me one person.
8 billion other people.
So hold on. Let me do this. Can you point to me one person that's able to make something out of nothing?
I did. I
really?
mean, you could take my
I can take
my
your word for it.
Or you could do the studies on it because a lot of people have said they came from nothing and found.
Okay, so when they say, wait a minute, so watch this. When they say they came from nothing, is that the same as God making something out of nothing?
No, because God isn't a fleshy being.
Okay, wait. Then Prince,
you can't combine the two. God is not.
Prince, hold on, Prince, hold on. In this example that we're talking about, we kind of are, because again, well, people. I mean, you're saying God made something out of nothing, so we can make something out of nothing. No, we can't.
I didn't say yes. We can. Yes, we can.
And
it literally happens all the time.
Okay. And I asked you,
everything in this planet that was created from nothing.
Because you know why? Because it was God who did it.
It had to be formed into something, but everything was created from nothing.
Because of who?
Because of us.
No, not because. No, before we came on this earth, who made everything out of nothing?
While on this earth, who is creating anything? Us.
Okay.
We are the creators on this planet.
Okay, so again, and I like what you're saying, Angry Bird. Our nothing isn't the same as God's nothing. Okay? That's the problem. Why are we trying to make God a fleshy being? That's the problem. Just stop thinking of God as a fleshy being. He's not a fleshy being. Hold on,
He's the creator of everything.
Go ahead, Angry Bird.
Respectfully, Prince, right? You're saying, why are we trying to make God a fleshly being? We're not, right?
Yes, why you?
One second, sir.
Go ahead.
You're seeing the distinction, right? Because you said we are gods because we're creators, right?
Flesh, yes.
Hold up, because we're creators. But what you see with God is God can bring something into existence where there is nothing for him to work with. He says it and it happens. Whereas for us, we need actual materials.
For existence.
No, sir, we can't.
No.
Yes, we can.
I can't. Hold up. So Prince, hold up, Prince. So if you were to say $1 million is going to drop right in my lap, just from the command of your voice, is going to happen. You don't have to get up. You don't have to do anything.
If I told you that's happened before, are you going to call the people that said that a liar? Because it's happened.
Are you able to do that?
If I wanted, yes. Are you going to call me a liar now?
Wait, could you do it now?
Are you going? If I'm telling you I could do it,
no, I understand you're telling. I understand you're telling us. I understand you're telling us, but we're asking, could you do it now?
I just answered that. If I wanted.
If he wanted to. Okay. So here's the thing. I wouldn't call you.
But my question to you is, if somebody told you they did it, are you going to call them a liar?
I'd be very skeptical.
I wouldn't have to because I know it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Okay, so if I pull up a report of somebody being reported have done this, you're gonna say that reporter or that person is lying. That's what. So it's pointless for me to even bring up the report.
Well, the thing about it is,
Here's the reason why that doesn't work, sir.
reports can lie too. What do
Here's,
you mean?
yeah, here's the reason why that doesn't work, sir. Because you and I are both human. We say on a constant basis that
Bro,
we
people
want
speak
something.
things into existence all the
Hold
time.
on. Once again, that is not even feasible. Not the way that God does it. Once again,
It is
our
feasible.
nothing, our nothing, and his nothing are two totally different things.
Well, that's because you're trying to compare a fleshy being to a spiritual being. That's why you're not wanting to comprehend.
Well,
that
here's the
obviously
problem.
it's two different things.
So Prince,
That's
here's
why.
Prince, here's the problem. Here, and I want you to think about this, right? Even when we read the Bible, Jesus. Here's the thing. You keep saying we keep trying to turn God into a fleshly being. Here's the problem.
Yes, because
on,
y'all keep saying,
hold on.
"Oh,
Prince,
it's different."
Prince,
Obviously,
hold
it's
on.
different.
Prince, hold on. Here's the problem. God did take on flesh, and He
Yes, through
still
us.
no. In through Jesus. When we
Through
read
us.
no, hold on, listen.
Through us.
Hold on. When we read scripture, we see that it was God who took on flesh, not through you and I, but through the person.
us. What do
But
you
through
mean?
the hold on.
So then, if God didn't create us, who created us then?
Hold on. We're not talking about who created us. Listen to what I'm saying. Slow down for a second. You keep saying, why do we keep turning God into a flesh? The thing about it is, God put on flesh through the person of Jesus. In
Through
everything,
us, He didn't come as one individual. He came through everybody because He created everybody. That's why we're all creators, because everything on this planet was created by a man.
Dre, I see it now. I see it
Everything
now.
that Jesus did was done before Jesus was here. Everything that
I
Jesus
see what it
did was
is.
oh wait,
done
wait a minute.
after
Hold
He
on.
was
I
here.
like that.
There's
I like that.
There's
Now we're
nothing
there.
that Jesus did that wasn't done before and wasn't done after.
Such
God
as
lived
hold on. Such as what
healing
did
the sick.
okay? Can
Healing
you
the
show
sick.
me before Jesus? Can you show me another person who healed the sick?
Are you gonna call me a liar if I pull that up? Because it's been
I'm
done.
asking. I'm clearly asking about it.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes,
I'm
I can.
okay,
yes.
go ahead. Please. We have a computer right here. So before Jesus comes on the scene, who else was healing people?
A lot of people, bro.
Okay, I need
That's
you
why.
to,
That's why we.
hold on,
That's
I
why
need
we
you
have
to
immune
hold on.
systems, because
Prince,
our immune
Prince,
systems are the healing source of the sick.
So on this show, one thing I'm gonna say is slow down, because the way you're responding lets me know you're not hearing the question.
I'm hearing the question.
So listen, before Jesus, who was going around healing people?
Bro, I mean, you'd have to look that up.
We have. And here's the thing.
Everybody's a healer, bro, because everybody has an immune system. Therefore, everybody that is sick can be healed.
Prince, slow down, bud. Here's the problem. You made a claim and you could not back it up with evidence.
No, I couldn't back it up with a specific name.
Because here's why. Because even there's not been a single person on this earth that can match what Jesus did.
That's not true.
Okay, who else?
You're on Google right now. You're on Google, bro. Put the question in.
No. You're making the claim to the burden of proof.
Hold on. Exactly.
You're on Google, bro.
No.
Type in the question, bro.
Prince.
Just right now, bro. You're on Google.
Prince, slow down. Catherine is right. You made the claim, so the burden of proof is on you to present the evidence. Not
so then,
me.
why did you bring up Google? Why did you bring up Google then?
Because again, you said that there was another person. And I was waiting to type in the name.
I mean, you can. So then if you're gonna type it in, just type in the question, bro.
Oh no, I'm asking you. You said there was somebody.
I don't have a name. I don't have to give a name. Everybody is a healer.
Hold on, no. So then Prince, respectfully, brother. Then you made a claim without evidence. So therefore, you said, I don't have to bring up a name. There's two ways this could go. Either A, maybe you forgot the name and maybe the name escapes you. Or B,
no, I don't have a name.
Okay, you don't have a name, but you said you did earlier. So that would classify as what we would call
I didn't.
again, you said you had one. Now you're saying you didn't have one. So therefore, that would classify as a lie. There is no one.
It's not a lot. Do you have an immune system, bro?
We're not talking about immune system. Don't move the
I mean,
goalpost.
bro,
Prince.
that's not a
Prince,
goalpost, bro.
Prince. That's called moving the goalpost. Me having an immune system has nothing to do with your claim you're making about there was someone
That somebody
before
can heal the
Jesus.
sick?
No, not that someone can heal the sick. You're not tracking now. That there was someone before Jesus that could match what Jesus did historically. That's who we're talking about now. Unless you can provide the name, then what someone said in the comments, you made what's called a baseless claim. A claim with no
I mean,
evidence.
you can say that. That's fine.
No,
that's
it's not.
fine. You can
I'm
say
saying
it.
that. That's what has.
It doesn't mean it's not true.
No,
it doesn't mean it's not true.
Again, you have to present the evidence to make it true. You can't say it's true just because you say it. That's literally trust me.
You
bro.
can't say it's not true because somebody said it.
Again,
You can't say it's not true.
I can't say it's not true because evidently there's not a single person on this earth in history that can match what Jesus did. There's no evidence.
You can't prove that. There is evidence.
Okay,
There-
then
We
where?
can't prove it. We have
So
a
what
That's
Bible.
why I
is it?
said, what's the point of pulling up Google if you're not gonna Google it, bro? You want
Okay.
somebody to do the research for you? Just
I
type in
got
the
it, bro.
question,
Let
bro.
me start looking. Hold up, I got
It's
it.
easy. Just type in the question. That's easy.
So again,
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't have to type in anything because at the end of the day, this whole conversation, the burden of proof was on you. You could not make the evidence. You could not present the name.
Well, then you failed to do the studies yourself. Then
No. So again,
I can't
I
answer the
brought
question.
Google. So hold on. I brought Google up because you said you had a name, right?
I get that.
Okay.
But
so
you're
that's
also
why Google was
failing
there.
to-
Hold on.
but you're also-
That's why Google was there in the
I get
first
that.
place. So
I get
if you
that.
don't have a name, then we don't need Google. Okay? We don't need
Question.
Google.
Question: Have you researched if anybody has matched what Jesus has done? Yes or no?
I did. I have.
My friend.
I
You
have.
have.
Yep,
You
sure
have?
did.
All right. And what did you
Go
find
ahead,
out?
bro.
And what did
Go
you find
ahead.
out, Loon? What did you find out, Angry Bird? What did you find out?
This is literally what I researched. Historically, is there anyone who did what Jesus Christ did? Right? Who did it? And the answer is a resounding no. There is no historical figure who definitively performed all the actions attributed to Jesus Christ.
There you go. Now, do you have anything? Now, do you have someone else that could, I don't know, make this
No,
more
I'm on
interesting?
Google right now because I don't.
Okay,
I don't
he's
take
on.
men
He's on.
for their
He's on
word.
Google right now. He's on Google.
It says nobody else
So how
wanted
about
to
this? How
do
about
it. I
this?
was like-
You go to Google and you tell us what you find.
I am. All
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
You tell me what you type, and I'll type the same thing, just to
Right.
make sure we get the same thing.
I'll type the same thing too.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna do what's one better. I'm gonna go to Chat GPT. I paid $20 for this sucker. I might as well use it. I folded, y'all. I folded.
Have it give
Sorry,
us
man.
answer
I'm about to
code.
pay my 20.
So how
I'm
about this?
to pay
So
my
Looney
22.
and Catherine, both of you type in the same question. So Looney, what did you type in?
This is what I typed in.
Uh-huh.
Historically, is there anyone who did what Jesus Christ did?
Right? There's the question. That way, all of us, this is a survey now. All right.
And
So
everyone,
Cat-
please tap the screen,
Mhm.
like and share.
This is so
Wow,
good. I'm gonna
bro.
edit. I'm gonna edit all
Jesus
this out.
Jesus is uniquely associated with the miracle working. Even so, history does provide other examples of people outside of the Bible who were said to have performed miracles during
What was the
ancient
question?
times.
What was the question?
What was the
Crazy.
question, Prince? What was
That
the question?
is cool. Hey, the answer
Don't be
is
hold up,
the
hold up.
answer.
Hold on.
Don't be
That is-
disingenuous.
The
What was the-
answer
so,
Because now you're being
is
shady.
the
Because now you're being
answer.
shady.
I'm not being
Prince.
Now you're being
disingenuous.
shady.
Prince,
being shady.
one simple question.
Y'all told me to Google it.
Okay,
Y'all,
what
hold
did you
on.
type
Y'all
in?
told me to Google it.
What did you
And
type
What
in?
did you type in?
What did you type in? Did you type in what we
What
have
does
right
it
here?
matter? Y'all wanted the
Oh,
answer.
so you don't want to let us
Now
know what
y'all,
you
Wow,
typed
now
in?
y'all want
what?
to do the research.
There it
Now
is.
y'all
So
want to do the
blatant,
research.
so blatant lie.
Now y'all
So
want to do the
now
research.
you're
I'm sorry.
manipulating.
Don't ask me to do the studies and then now you want to do the studies. I gave you the
We're
answer.
asking what the question is.
What did you type in? What did you type
So we
in?
can all see. That's the whole
So
point.
mind you, I typed in the same question. Looney typed in the same question. Catherine typed in the same question. Did you type in the same question so we're all on one accord?
No, he typed something else, and then he didn't tell
I
nobody what
typed
they
in a
typed.
very specific question,
Okay,
and
what
I
was your
answered.
What is the question?
what was your question?
answered your question.
Okay,
That's
what was
is
your
the
what was the
question?
very specific question that you put in?
I answered the question.
What was your very
So in other
specific
words,
question?
what he just did, what he
I
just
answered the
said
question.
Take a
is
screenshot.
I deceitfully, I shadily typed in something that was going to give me the answer that I want.
Well, I
Yep.
mean, that
So
that,
here's what
That's
we're
that
gonna
literally
do.
what you just
We're
did.
gonna go ahead and do the same thing on here. Historically, is there anyone who did what Jesus did? Let's go ahead here. Let's go ahead and do that there, and let's see if it'll give us something there.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Jay, wait, isn't that the same thing that
That
what
same
I
thing.
looked
That
at?
same thing that you got. So boom. Now I like this answer, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it goes
because
to
it
what,
fits your narrative.
no,
That's why you like it. It
no, I
fits your
didn't.
narrative.
How does it fit my
How?
narrative?
He typed in what we asked. We haven't changed anything.
Now here's what's so
I
funny.
mean, no, you typed it in. I'm not mad at the question. I'm just saying it fits your narrative. That's why you like. You don't like my
Are you
answer.
are you
But
understanding?
when my
Are you
answer
understanding? We're
sorry,
still on.
one
We're,
second.
the,
I'm so sorry.
Look, Prince. We're still on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles internet. Okay, we all get the
That
same
part.
thing. So this
I
answer
mean,
doesn't
y'all
fit
didn't
my
get
narrative.
my answer.
Okay, this doesn't fit
Because
so
you're
here-
not telling us what you
because
typed.
you didn't tell us what you typed in. If you tell us what you typed in, I can type it in here for you.
Because you know you're not being honest. That's why you don't want to say it.
I'm not
Me?
being honest, bro. How,
So
how
what
could
did you-
how
so
is
what did you
Google
type
gonna
in?
lie to me?
So why did you?
What is
what did
Google
you
gonna
type
say
in?
to lie to
What
me?
did you type?
What did you type?
Hey man, I asked y'all to ask the questions,
Bro,
and
what did
One
you
last
type?
chance. So Prince, one last chance, buddy. I don't like it.
Because now you're lying.
What
I'm
did you
lying.
type in? What did you type in?
Jesus wasn't the only one that performed miracles.
There we go. And
Thank
there
you
it
for
is.
being honest.
Thank you for being
Finally.
honest. Thank
So
you.
you made a statement, not a question.
He made a
Okay.
statement, not a question. There it is. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we always got to test spirit with the spirit. So therefore, Prince lied, and therefore, he manipulated Google. He manipulated Google. And the fact that you're in the chat saying, oh, I didn't type that, that's my answer, still lets us know what kind of spirit you're operating in, bud.
Bro,
So,
you just straight lying, bro, for no reason.
You lied, and all we asked you to do is give us the question that you put. That's all we wanted, brother. That's all we wanted. But again, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right?